continue to guide you, keep you, comfort you, aid you in your growth and development, as well as the healing stages of your life, family. Man, we got to grow up. We have to grow up, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We have to understand who we are. We have to understand what's going on with us. Man, I'm trying to get situated. I apologize. Um, man, give you guys a minute before we get started. Come on in, family. Today's gonna be rough. Today's gonna be a little rough. And again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? This is spiritual boot camp. Man, we have to grow up. Today we're gonna talk about moving forward with the Chariot card. It's a trip because I'm trying to get situated. My bad. Um, this card right here, the Chariot card, in the tarot. It's a trick because so many of us, we've seen this card, or we think we know how to move forward in life, and we think we know how to navigate through the system called life. And the great majority of us have no idea how to navigate the chaos. The great majority of us have no idea how to make it through life in a healthy manner. You know what I mean? And again, it is what it is. This is spiritual boot camp. We have to grow up. We have to understand that there's a way, there's a method, a healthy method of navigating through this system, this journey called life. And the great majority of us have no understanding how to do that. The great majority of us grow up in toxic families, or we hook up with people that are toxic. And we become toxic by nature. We become toxic because we've connected with toxic individuals. You know what I mean? And because of their toxicity is rubbed off on us, we've now become toxic. We've now become corrupted. And it's a trip because, man, we got to grow up. We have to understand who we are. We have to understand what's going on in life. You know, we have to understand that, man, we we got to learn how to be like this chariot. What's up with you, Jose? What's up with you, Chanel? We got to learn how to be like this chariot. You know what I mean? And when you look at this picture, it's a powerful picture. Talking about moving through life like the chariot. When you look at this picture shows you a young man who's sitting on a chariot who has the stars above him, who has the moon around him. You know what I mean? He has all this stuff going on with him. But what we fail to realize for the most of us is that this man has gotten out of his comfort zone. This man has left behind all the things he became familiar with, all the things he knew. He left behind the religious belief system. He left behind the family and friends and all those other individuals in order for him to be all that he's capable of being. And the great majority of us have no idea of the responsibility and the power it takes in order for us to begin this journey called life, in order to be all that we came here to be. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to leave behind those toxic relationships. What's up with you, Rose? You got to leave behind your comfort zone. You got to get out of your comfort zone in order for you to be all that you're capable of being. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. You got to leave behind your comfort zone. And when you look at the picture, he's outside of the gate. He's outside of the city. He's outside of everything established by man. He's guided by the Sphinx, black and white. And when you look at the Sphinx represents something mystical, something magical, something powerful. And so many of us, we want to navigate through life based on our fear. We move, we make decisions and choices based on fear. We move and we navigate through our journey of life based on our insecurities, based on our lack of knowledge. And again, when you look at this picture symbolizes a bunch of stars above him, the crown on his head with a star, on his shoulders is the moon. This guy is tapped in. He's tapped into universal consciousness, God consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it. This guy is tapped in. The great majority of us, we're not tapped in like this because of our lack mentality, because our fears of, man, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? We make choices and decisions and we think, okay, I'm doing the best thing for me. I'm doing the wisest thing for me. And we go running through life, making all these haphazard choices and decisions, not even understand, man, I'm going to have to answer for this. I'm going to have to talk to somebody about all the choices I've made in life. I'm going to have to understand why I made the choices in life that I did. What caused me to make those choices? What caused me to sit back and react the way I did? So many of us will never leave the comfort of our family. We'll never leave the comfort of society. We'll never leave the comfort of religion and political dogma and all this other BS. Because the truth be told, we're slave to this stuff. We're slave to this stuff, and we have no idea. What's up with you, Coop Divine? We have no idea how much of a slave we are to how other people think about us, how much of a slave we are to our fears and our insecurities. In order for you to be all that you came here to be, in order for you to move like this chariot, in order for you to be this individual, this energy, you got to cut all that other shit off. It is what it is. There's no getting around it. There's no getting around it. So many of us, we jump into these relationships. So many of us would take the first job available. So many of us would do all kinds of crazy toxic shit, knowing that we shouldn't do it. Some of us we jump in the relationship, man, I'm getting older and this is the best it's gonna be, and nobody else is gonna want me, and nobody else is gonna find me attractive, and I don't know if I'm gonna get another opportunity, and then I have all these fears and insecurities. And so we jump into things that we shouldn't jump into. We hold on to things that we shouldn't hold on to. But you're gonna have to lose. You're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. There's a story in the Bible that has always intrigued me. It's the story of Lot, you know, and it's a story of Lot lived in the city, right? And again, I'm not a Christian person at all, you know what I mean? The story goes that Lot lived in the city. He was a relative to Abraham, I believe it was Abraham's cousin. And so he lived in a city that was wicked, completely wicked. A lot of people say that Sodom and Gomorrah resembles America. You know, America resembles Sodom and Gomorrah. Just how deprived it was, how corrupt it was, how negative, how toxic it was, right? And so here's Lot. He lives in the city, very wealthy, very influential. Man, he's not in need of anything, right? And so he has beautiful daughters, has a beautiful wife, and God is going to destroy the city because of how corrupt it is. God is going to destroy the city because how negative and toxic it is, right? And Lot has no clue what's going on. He knows all these people, but he has no clue what's going on. He has no clue that God is about to destroy us. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. We're talking about moving like the chariot. And so the story goes on that God sends his angel. And man, if God could find 200 people in the city, and you know, you look it up now, and they said that the city had thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people lived in that city, Sodom and Gomorrah. I live in New York. New York is a big city. Sodom and Gomorrah was kind of like New York back then. You know what I mean? Very popular, very, very big city. It was the metropolis. You know what I mean? And so you had all these people living in this area. And God was like, okay, if I could find 200 people, 200 good people, 200 honest people, I'll spare the whole city. And then God gets talked down. Okay, but what about if you could just find 100? God's like, okay, if I could find 100, I'll spare the city. God gets talked down to 50. Okay, if I could find 50, I'll spare the city. But it wasn't 50 good people in that city. It wasn't 25 righteous people in that city. All the people living there. It wasn't 10 righteous people living in that city. And so story goes to where the angel comes in and says, all right, lie, get you and your family. We're getting out of here. God's about to destroy the city. God's about to rain down fire on the city. God's about to destroy, annihilate everybody in the city. Get your family, get the fuck up out of here. We got to go. We ain't got time for you to pack up shit. Grab your girls, grab your wife. Let's go. So many people would not have left. They wouldn't have left because of the connections, because of their businesses, because of the money they had tied up, because of the relationships they had with other people. They wouldn't have left it. And here's Lot and his daughter's been drugged about the city. And the angel tells him one thing, man, don't look back. Whatever you do, don't look back. Don't turn around and start remembering or missing where you're leaving from. I'm taking you somewhere new. I'm taking you somewhere different. You got to trust the plan. You ain't got to understand where you're going. You ain't got to understand how you getting there. You just got to trust that I got you. Lot and his daughters are leaving. Lot's wife turns around and she looks back. What's up with you, Lotus? She looks back over the city. And the Bible says that she was turned to a pillar of salt. She died right there on the spot. Why? Because she couldn't cut off her connection to where she was at. She couldn't cut off her connection to her past. She wouldn't let it go. She was leaving, going to a better place. She was leaving to spare her life. But she didn't understand that, couldn't grasp that. And so she turned around, just looking just one more time. Let me just take it in one more time. And she died on the spot. Died on the spot. And here we go. So many of us, we're stuck. We're slaves to the city. We're stuck. We're slaves to our connections, to toxic relationships, toxic businesses, toxic jobs, toxic family members, and we won't let it go. And then some of us that do let stuff go like that, man, now we want to control shit. We want to control where we go. We want to control how we get there. And the beautiful thing about this card, if you look at it, if you really study this card, again, you got the Sphinx up front that's guiding the chariot. The guy, the charioteer who's on the chariot, he's not controlling the Sphinx at all. He's not telling the Sphinx where to take him. Not a lot of people's like, oh, he's doing mind control. Not. No, he's not. That's some 3D stupid superficial bullshit we tell ourselves because we have not learned how to let go of our fucking fear. We have not learned how to let go of our control. And so we become control freaks because things didn't always work out for us in the past. We jumped into toxic relationships, and these people treated me this way. I've had bad jobs and bad supervisors, and they treated me this way, and they did this and they did that. And so, therefore, I'm going to control how the rest of my life is going to be. I'm going to be in control of my life. I'm going to dictate who can come in and out of my life. I'm going to dictate where I go, and all this stupid, superficial shit. We're going there today. This is going to get rough, I promise you. And that all comes back down to the fact that you don't trust source. That all comes back down to the fact that you ain't connected to God. You ain't connected to the universe like you say you are. It all comes back down to the fact that you ain't got no faith. It all comes back down to the fact that you don't trust that everything is always working out for you. And so you got to be in control. You got to be in control. Why? Because you're fearful and because you have a control freak nature. stemming from your lack of, or stemming from the fact that you've been hurt and disappointed in the past. See, when you get to this place, when you get to this energy of the chariot card, you've done the work. Again, I talked about the stars above him, talked about the moon above him, or on his shoulders. This guy's in alignment with universe. This guy is intimately connected with universe. And when I say guy, understand that in the tarot, there is no male and female. You know what I mean? This person is in connection with the universe. Perfect alignment. They put in the work to where now they know, okay, man, I ain't got to control where I go. I just got to trust the process. I have to trust the process. I can't dictate where these things take me. I just have to sit back and say, okay, God, universe source, you know where I'm supposed to be at. I'm not privy to knowing where I'm supposed to end up at. Not right now. But I have to trust the process and move outside of where I'm at. And so by me moving, I'm trusting that you're going to guide me and you're going to take me where I'm supposed to go. Why? Because I'm in alignment. And again, this is different from the fool card. The fool, he's walking and he's about to walk off a cliff. He just has his dog with him, and the dog is following him. He has his bag of stuff that he owns sitting on the staff. That's not this guy. That's not this guy. He's done the work to become this. He has a wand in his hand now. He doesn't have a staff holding his luggage, holding his baggage, holding his issues. He's connected to source. He doesn't have a dog just following him off a cliff. He's been led by source, by universe. The other thing you notice when you look at this card, it's balance. Everything is balance. Everything is balance. The black and white. Up above me, you can see the yin yang. That's what the black and white here represents. Balance, harmony. Most of us have no clue what harmony looks like. Most of us have no clue what harmony feels like. Most of us have no clue of what peace feels like because we've been up under chaos our entire life, or we've been up under chaos so long, that's all we know. All we know is the fight. All we know is the struggle. All we know is how to survive. All we know is how to grind. That's not the chariot. This guy's successful. This guy's done the work, the emotional work, the spiritual work, to be able to be tapped in, to be connected with God, universe source, because he knows wherever the Sphinx leads him, that's where he's supposed to be. He knows that wherever the Sphinx leads him, it's for his betterment. And so he doesn't have to control the Sphinx. He trusts that they're going to take him where he's supposed to be. So we can't trust because of our fears, because of our issues, because we've been hurt so much in the past, because we've been dogged out in the past. And so we don't know how to let go of control. We don't know how to trust source. We don't know how to just, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not just good, I'm great. Why? Because I trust everything's always working out for me. I ain't got to fight. I ain't got to kiss somebody's ass. I ain't got to politic. I ain't got to do nothing. All I got to do is sit back and say, "Man, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And when I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be, I can trust that I'm going to be led where I'm supposed to be next. See, where we think we're supposed to be next ain't maybe it's not where God or universe wants us. We think, man, I should be with this person over here. Man, I should jump in this relationship over here. And so many of us, the truth be told, we jumped into toxic relationships, not even understanding that that relationship was toxic. So many of us, we've moved and we've done different things, thinking that this was for the best. So many of us, we've made certain decisions and choices in life, thinking that, man, this is the logical next step. This is the wise thing to do. But when it comes to God, universe, source, it ain't about your wisdom. Your quote unquote natural wisdom. It ain't about your quote unquote logic. Story in the Bible where Jesus is walking on the water. And Jesus tells Peter, or Peter asks Jesus, man, if you're the son of God, like you say you are, let me come out to you. Let me get out the boat. Let me walk out to where you at. See, the great majority of us, the truth be told, we ain't got that type of faith. And the church, I know all these religions, people talk all this stuff about the Bible, all the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and quote all these scriptures, but they ain't got no faith. In order to be the chariot, you have to have faith. You got to get out of your comfort zone. For Peter in the Bible, in the story, it was the boat. He was safe in the boat. He was okay in the boat. He wasn't in fear of drowning in the boat. He stepped out of the boat against logic, against common sense, against man's wisdom. He stepped out of the boat onto the water. What's up with you watchdogs? So he's walking on the water. He's doing what's not logical. He's doing what's impossible to man because he trusts God. Because he trusts God and he got out of his comfort zone. It went against everything that he knew. He ain't never seen anybody walk on water before until he saw Jesus doing it. And so he was like, okay, well, if you could do it, let me do it. Let me walk out there to you if you're really the Son of God. If you're really who you say you are, give me the power to do what you're doing. And Jesus was like, come on, what's up with you, Kenny? So Peter gets out the boat and starts walking out to the water. He's walking on the water towards Jesus. And he was cool until he started looking down around him. Until he starts seeing the fact that, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. This goes against logic. This goes against everything. I'm a fisherman by trade. I know the waters. Ain't nobody ever walked the water like this. And I'm doing it. And fear set in. And once that fear set in, he started sinking. And so many of us, we're just like Peter. We're talking about moving like the chariot. We're just like Peter in that story. We trust the universe, we trust source, and we'll take a step out and we'll start moving in the direction we're supposed to go. And then we stop and we start processing it with our logic. You guys have heard me talk a lot about it. We got to get outside of this ego brain, the logic. And so we're walking on water, we're doing whatever God told us to do. And that fear sets in. We start looking around us and it's like, man, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this. Da, da, da. And then all this fear starts kicking in. And then we start drowning. We start sinking. And what the great majority of us do, we take it on notice. There ain't no God. This shit ain't real. I knew it was too good to be true. I know I couldn't walk on water. I know I couldn't move over here. I know I couldn't start this business. I know I couldn't have this king or queen in my life. I know I could, da, 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 whatever it is that you decide to do, or whatever it is that God is leading you to do. You started, God is blessing you, you're able to do it, and then fear kicks in. And then you start sinking because now you're no longer in alignment. Now you've cut off the connection that you've had with source and universe. You can pray all you want to, but you've cut off that connection. Peter's looking at Jesus and he cut off the connection. Why? He cut off the connection when he took his eyes off of Jesus and started looking at the water. He severed the connection when he started looking at his circumstances. And that's what we do in life. We started looking at our circumstances and we take them as, man, fuck, I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to have peace. I'm never going to be fulfilled. I'm never going to have true love. I'm never going to have my king, my queen. I'm never going to have the business I want. I'm never going to have the power and authority that I'm supposed to have. And then we sit back and we give up. We go right back to our comfort zone of the city. We go right back to our comfort zone of what we used to do and all this shit that kept us a slave. We give up on love. We give up on people. We give up on our purpose. We give up on life because we took our eyes off of source and got fixated with our circumstances. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. I don't know how I'm going to navigate this. I don't know how I'm going to get over here. I don't know how I'm going to get this. Da, da, da. I don't know how. And we get stuck there. And the I don't know how. You ain't got to know how. You got to trust. You have to trust. You have to believe that it's all good. Everything, not some things, not most things, everything is always working out for us when we're in alignment. When you're in alignment, when you're connected, it ain't about what you're talking about. It's not even about what you're doing because you could be doing stuff and not believing it. Peter was walking on the water. Peter was walking on the water. He was already doing the impossible. And because he believed that it was impossible, he started sinking. Because he lost focus of Jesus, God, source, universe, whatever it was that he was focused on, that gave him the belief that he could get off the boat in the first place. He could get out of his comfort zone in the first place. He was already doing it, which means that it could be done. If Peter's already walking on the water, then it's no longer impossible. The impossible was only his perspective because he'd never seen it before. It was only impossible because he didn't know that it could be done. And then he started doing it. And he was cool until he took his eyes off the source and started looking at his circumstances. God help us. Have you taken your eyes off the source? Have you got disconnected? Have you given up hope? Have you quote unquote backslid? And I'm not talking about backslid how church people talk about it. I'm talking about backslid as in the fact of, man, you were doing the impossible. You were doing great things. You was walking your purpose. You was walking your authority, but you backslid in the aspect that you went back to doing what you used to do. You gave up because of the circumstances, because you were tired of being alone, because you didn't think that you would find true love, because you were tired of people laughing at you and talking about you, and because you hadn't dealt with those insecurities and those issues yet, you went right back to those other people. And it's like, man, I was tripping. I don't know why I was out there like that. And da 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 da. And we start justifying the fact that we trust source and we took those steps. And we start telling all those raggedy ass people behind us, man, you were right. I knew I shouldn't have did that. You were right. I should never went out there. I should have never did da 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 da. And that's not true. That's not true. Those people just didn't have faith. Those people just didn't have the wherewithal to take the steps that you did. Those people weren't connected to source like you were, to where you can make those moves. But then when we look at our circumstances and the circumstances that Peter was facing, as far as him being on the water, wasn't going to make him drown. What caused Peter to drown, again, wasn't the water, wasn't the fact that he was doing the impossible, because it had to be possible for him to get out and do it in the first place. What messed him up was the fact that he severed his connection with source. He took his eyes off of source. So many of us take our eyes off of source, and man, it's okay. Man, I ain't never had a man in my life that's had my back like this, and man, I gotta do this, and da 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 da. I ain't never had no woman I could really trust. I ain't never really had no woman I could rely on. I ain't never had nobody that's really had my back and was always there for me, and da 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 da. And so we take our eyes off of source and we look at everybody else. It is what it is. We got to grow up. We got to understand that, man, God is more concerned with whether or not you're going to make that move, whether or not you're going to take that faith. And so many of us, I'm gonna take these ear pods off and see if that'll make the sound. Y'all want to make sure that you're willing to trust Him. Can you trust God, or are you gonna sit there and just keep playing games? You're gonna just keep playing religion. You're gonna just keep playing spirituality. Can you really trust God? Can you really trust God? Robert, I hope this Kiss Roberts. I hope it sounds better now. For whatever reason, my earpods wasn't connected, and I apologize for the sound. But can you trust God? Can you walk out and do what you're supposed to do? Is the sound still bad, or is it better? Is the sound? But can somebody let me know if the sound's better? Like they don't want this message out, but it is what it is. Okay, thank you, Dwight. Oh, okay, my bad. I've had a lot of people complain about the volume, and that's what I thought you were talking about. You're good. No need to apologize. Um, we got to grow up. We got to understand that, man. In order for us to be all that we're capable of being, in order for us to be the chariot, in order for us to have true power, in order for us to walk in our true authority, man, you got to have faith. You got to trust the process. You got to be able to sit back and say, okay, man, how come I can't trust God? How come I can't trust Source? And the truth is, religion has so fucked up people's perspective of what God is. Religion has so tainted our perspective of God. People don't want shit to do with God because of religious people and the stupid shit that they've done up under the guise of being connected to God, up under the guise of being a man or woman of God. Everybody can't be the cherry. Everybody's not going to be the cherry. And when I'm talking about the cherry, I'm talking about this is the energy. This is the vibration. This is the vibration. This is an alignment. This is a connection. That's what this card symbolizes. Oh, God help this part. So, again, so many of us, we get tapped into, we get caught up into this masculine and feminine energy. And again, there's a yin yang up above me. And again, that's what the two sphinx represents, the black and white, the balance, the wholeness. So many of us, we get so stuck in, man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. I got to do this a man way and da da da, and all this masculine energy. And I'm not knocking it. And there's so many women pushing this feminine energy, the divine feminine, and da 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 da. And again, I'm not knocking that. But understand, you got to have the totality. Understand, you got to have the balance. You got to have both. And if you don't have both, you can't be all that you came here to be. You can't have true power. You can't. And I don't give a damn how great you think your life is. See that yin yang? It's one. It's one. That duality. It's one. But because of our fears and our insecurities, and because some of us it's our pride, we think we've learned some stuff, and we think, okay, it's all about the divine feminine, or about the divine masculine, and we take that little bit of knowledge and we run with it. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. So, and again, a little bit of knowledge can be devastating to your life. A little bit of knowledge can have you all the way fucked up. But our ego would have us so convinced that because we're so much smarter than all those other people, we're smarter than our daddy was, we're smarter than our mama was, we got more than our daddy did, we got more than our grandpappy did, and all this other shit, and therefore we think we're better. We think we're better off because I make 150,000 a year and da 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 da. And bought my first car at 25. I bought my first Lambo at 27, and all this other stupid shit. We look at the superficial shit and we think that we're better off, not understanding we have no balance. We're completely out of perspective, completely out of alignment. Again, when you really look at this card, again, the chariot all above him, it's the stars, the moon. And what God has shown me about this, Elijah, when do you really see the stars? You can only really see the stars when it's really dark. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. You can only see the stars when it's dark. Again, I live in New York City. It's a lot of lights out here. You can't see the stars like I could when I lived in California up in the mountains where they didn't have all the lights. What God was showing me was Elijah, the stars and the moon represents the darkness, the unknown, that which you can't really see, that which you really don't understand. And for whatever reason, it's human nature. We fear the dark. We fear what we don't understand. We fear what we don't know. And this is why the great majority of us will never leave the city. When I say the city, we'll never leave our comfort zone. We won't do it. And so there's so many people that have never looked into tarot. There's so many people that have no idea what tarot is really about. And so they'll think, oh, that's demonic. That's the devil stuff and all this other stupid ass shit. Because they can't get past their fucking religious indoctrination. They can't get past their religious teachings. And again, we demonize what we don't know. We fear the unknown. And so we'll stay in our comfort zone, however shallow that is. I'm used to it. I'm used to it. And so I'll stay over here. I'll stay without. I'll stay living paycheck to paycheck. I'll stay robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'll stay stuck in my fear of not wanting to do anything that's going to cause me to go to hell. I'll stay in the fear of people ostracizing me. Oh, you tripping now. I don't know why you into all that witchcraft stuff. I don't know why you into tarot cards. I don't know why you got to wear crystals now. I don't know why you got to have all those charms and stuff. I don't know why you got to have sage. I don't know why. And because they don't fucking know. The power is not in those things. The power is in you. Those things are just a reminder of who the fuck you are. Those things are just a reminder of the power that you possess. But because we don't know that, we look at those things and say, well, that's the devil stuff. We're talking about moving like the chariot. We got to grow up. We got to grow up. And part of the thing with the charity is, man, you got to get away from all that crazy shit. It doesn't seem to be crazy to everybody else that's in the city because that's all they know. That's all they're doing. That's all they're capable of understanding because they won't do the spiritual and emotional work to deal with their true fears and insecurities and issues. And so they stay stuck. And so when you walk out on faith and you start moving and doing things that seem ridiculous to everybody else, they look at you, oh, she's just weird, and oh, he's just doing stupid shit, and da 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 da, and all this dumb shit because they don't know any better. They have no fucking clue. And again, it is what it is. We've got to grow up. We've got to grow up. We want to do great things, but we don't want to do great things. Catch that. We want to do great things, but we don't want to do great things. We want to do great things, but we want to do everything that everybody else is doing. We want to do great things. We want to be used by God. And we want all this knowledge, all this wisdom, all this understanding, we want all these things in life. But we don't want to get rid of the belief system that keeps us stuck over here in poverty. The truth is, you want great things. You want to be a man of God. You want to be a woman of God. You want to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light, and all this stuff. But you really don't want to do the work in order to get there. You don't want to walk the path to get you there. You don't want to deal with your fears. You don't want to heal your trauma. You want to stay stuck right there and be a victim. And then talk about how unfair life is. You want to be a victim and blame white people. Man, white people got this world all fucked up, and white people done this, and white people did it, and all this stupid ass shit we want to throw out. Oh, America would be great again if we got rid of all these illegal aliens and got rid of all these Hispanics and all this stupid ass shit. You've been here your whole fucking life. You've been here 30, 40 fucking years and you ain't accomplished shit yet. But then you want to blame other people who just got here and they got more to show forth in life than you do because they were willing to get outside of their comfort zone. They were willing to take a risk. They were willing to go above and beyond. But we don't want to do that. We think that, man, we should just be entitled. Because I pick up the Bible, I should just be able to say that, man, I got all this power, I got all this authority that God is using me, and God's going to bless me. God's going to give me da 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 and da da da. God's going to give me the man of my dreams. God's going to give me the woman of my dreams. And God's going to give me the house that I want. God's going to give me the business I want. God's going to give me the money I want and all this other shit. But you won't trust God to get out of your fucking comfort zone. You won't trust God to get out of the fucking toxic ass relationship you in. You won't trust God to deal with your own fucking fears and insecurities. But then you have the stupid ass belief system that God's going to just give you everything. But you ain't willing to take no steps. See, what we got to understand is it's not that you go work hard for all this material shit. That's where we got it messed up in here in America, in the Western culture thinking. You know what I mean? We think that, man, I got to work hard for everything I get. Why? Because that comes from that survival mentality. That comes from that lack mentality. So I got to hit the job from sun up to sundown. And I'm not against working hard. I'm not against going out and putting in some overtime. I'm not talking about that. When you have the mentality that I gotta work for everything I get, and I'm not getting nothing, and nobody's ever gave me anything, and then, yeah, I've been there. I've been there. What God had to show me was Elijah. Life was hard for you. You've had to earn everything you got. Think about that. I'm gonna say it again because that went over our heads. You worked hard for everything you got. See, we don't believe that. We say it, but we really don't believe that. You worked hard to live in poverty. You've worked hard to stay in those toxic ass fucking relationships. You've worked hard to keep those dead end fucking jobs. You've worked hard to keep getting beat down in your fucking relationships. You've worked hard at staying connected to toxic ass fucking family members that don't give a fuck about you. You've worked hard for that. But once we begin to grow up and understand that, man, I got to heal. I got to get in alignment with universe. I got to trust the process. And it is once I get in alignment with universe, once I begin to trust the process and I begin to heal, me, when I mean by heal, I begin to heal, release, let go of everything that has me disconnected from source, everything that would disconnect me from source. That's what healing means. What is it that got me disconnected from God? And whatever perspective we're talking about, what is it that got me disconnected from universe? In regards to whatever topic we're talking about. Whether it's relationships, whether it's money, whether it's your physical health, whether it's your mental health. What is it about you that has you disconnected from God? And again, I'm not talking about the God of the fucking religion. We got to grow the fuck up. What is it about you that keeps you in fear? What is it about you that keeps you so fucking angry? What is it about you that keeps you from being so unforgiving? What is it about you that keeps you from trusting? You can talk about God all you want to. And the truth is, you don't believe God. You don't trust God. You don't believe God and you don't trust God because you really don't believe you. You don't believe in you. You don't trust you. And you don't really believe that you deserve peace. You don't really believe that you deserve happiness. And it's strictly as a life coach, I talk to so many people. And there's so many people that don't believe, that have an issue with the word deserve when it comes to good stuff. So many people have an issue with the word deserve when it comes to love, with them being loved, with them being valued, with them being appreciated. People have a hang up when it comes to thinking that they deserve that because most people don't believe that they deserve anything good like that. They want it, but they got an issue when it comes to being deserved. They want it, but they don't know how to get it. And therefore, they don't really think they can have it. They don't really think that it's for them. It might be for everybody else. It might be for Betty Joe down the street or Billy Bob down the street over there. He might find true happiness. He might find peace and joy and all that other stuff. She might find the man of her dreams. He might find the woman. But man, I'm okay with me. And man, I'm just going to be cool with just being happy with me and da da da. Because we don't really want to put in the work to get those things. And again, the work is not about you going out there and hustling. The work is about you healing everything that keeps you disconnected from those things. Once you release that negative, toxic belief system, all those things just naturally flow into your life. They naturally come into your life once you get in alignment. Going back to this chariot card, success, power, authority, moving, and everything else, having the peace and joy and happiness in life. That stuff comes naturally. You ain't got to fight for love. You ain't got to fight for peace. You ain't got to fight for success. You just got to get in alignment. You got to be willing to do the work, the emotional, spiritual work of understanding what's blocking you from that, what's keeping you from that. We blame everybody else. Oh, it's my ex, and he got a curse on me. And oh, it's this person, and they're prejudiced. And oh, it's these people over here, and they're racist. And oh, it's these people over here, they don't like gay people. Oh, it's these people over here, they don't like women. And we get all this stupid shit we say to justify the fact that we ain't got what we want. When the truth is, we ain't got what we want because we won't do the emotional, spiritual work to grow the fuck up and get in alignment so that we can have those things, so that those things can naturally flow into our life. We won't let go of the past. We won't let go of our belief systems. We won't let go of our fears. We won't let go of our baggage. We won't let go of the things we think we know because we believe there's only one way to get it. And if you ain't calling out on Jesus, and if you ain't doing da 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 da, and the truth is, great majority of people in church ain't happy. People are leaving the churches by the fucking thousands. People are leaving Christianity by the thousands. By the tens of thousands, people are leaving the church because the answer is not in church. It's a whole lot of people in church getting divorced. It's a whole lot of people in church miserable and frustrated and still dealing with and carrying the baggage and the trauma from their childhood or from their failed relationships. We got to grow up. We got to grow up. Are you willing to put in the work, the emotional, spiritual work of releasing, of getting out of your comfort zone, of releasing the pain and everything that's kept you trapped, that's kept you a slave, that's kept you a prisoner to your mediocre living? It's all you. It's all you. It's always been you. Nobody can stop you from doing what you want to accomplish in life. Nobody can stop you from being the man or woman that you came here to be. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what you identify yourself as. Nothing can stop you from having all the peace you want. Nothing can stop you from having all the joy and love you want. But you will meet somebody, and it could be the man or woman that God wants us to meet up with, the man or woman that God wants us to have. But because of our fears, because of our insecurities, we'll get stuck on, man, I don't deserve that. That's too good to be true. I can't keep that. They're not going to accept me. They're not going to love me for who I am. When they see me, when they get with me, man, they're going to see that I got these character defects. They're going to see that I'm not perfect. They're going to see I got these stretch marks. They're going to see that I'm da 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 da. And we have all this shit that we believe why people won't accept us and love us. When the reality is, there's people that's bigger than you. I'm talking about weight wise. People with more stretch marks and blemishes than you. There's people with more baggage than you. Went through way worse shit than you. And they're falling in love with themselves. And there's somebody right next to them that's wife them, that's husband them, that adores them for who they are, with all of their stretch marks, with all of their wrinkles, with all of their blemishes and bad skin. There's somebody that adores them. There's somebody that loves them. Again, but because of our belief system, we can't be the chariot. We can't be happy. We can't be successful. We can't be powerful. We can't be all that we came here to be because we don't want to deal with our shit. And so we choose to stay distracted. We choose to stay stuck in our past, stuck in our fears, stuck in our traumas because we don't have the faith to step out of our comfort zone. We got to grow up. And when you hear me saying that this is a grown folk channel and that we got to heal and we got to grow up, I'm talking about that we got to deal with our shit. We got to understand what is it about us that's keeping us twisted like this. Man, thank you guys for rocking out with me. Again, we'll be going live tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, man, how to overcome. Tomorrow is going to be a powerful live stream. We're going to be talking about the strength card in tarot. We're going to be talking about how to let go. There's a song that I would love for every one of you to listen to. I believe the lady named that sung the song years ago, Lisa Fisher. How do I ease the pain? How do I ease the pain? And so today was just part one of it. And tomorrow we're going to dive deep into how do I ease the pain with the tarot card of the strength. I love you guys. Thank you for rocking out with me. Happy healing, family. Peace.